Before anyone told me something was wrong, so like before a big game I was in, or before I walked up to the microphone in school, or before I approached the girl I liked in the hallway, my heart would race and my palms would sweat, my stomach would fill with butterflies, and I never once thought anything was wrong with me. Nobody told me I was anxious, for example, so I never thought I was anxious. I just thought my body was gearing up, getting ready, doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And so it never got in my way. I showed up every time, not because I was fearless, certainly not, but because I never learned to be afraid of what I was feeling. So I've been sitting with this question lately. It's a simple one, but it keeps pulling at me. So I wonder, what if someone had told me I was anxious at that time? Would I have still done public speaking as a kid, or would I have shown up in big moments of big games in my life, or would I have approached girls that I was crushing on? Or would I have spent my energy trying to make the feeling stop because someone I trusted said this is a problem? So here's what I want to be clear about. Anxiety is not bad. The feeling itself, the racing heart, butterflies, heightened alertness, that's not the enemy. In many cases, it's information. It's energy. It's your system doing exactly what it's designed to do in the moments that matter to you. So the problem isn't the feeling. The problem is what happens when we're taught to see it as a defect. Because once you're told you're an anxious person, you can stop experiencing anxiety as something that moves through you, and you start making decisions as an anxious person. You start building a life around it. You start avoiding the microphone or the big game or the girl in the hallway. Not because the feeling was ever that powerful, but because the label made it feel permanent. I want to be honest about something else. Some people needed more than just the room to figure it out. Some childhoods carry real weight, experiences that were genuinely too much to process alone. For those people, having someone skilled and compassionate in their corner wasn't a limitation. It was a lifeline. I believe that fully. But I also believe that's not the majority. For most kids, most of the time, being allowed to move through difficulty, to feel uncomfortable things and discover they can survive them, itself is the education. The problem is we're losing our ability to tell the difference. My wife and I have young kids, and I say this as someone with years of clinical training. The content that finds its way into our feed about child development can create a level of fear and paranoia that feels almost impossible to resist. Every behavior becomes a symptom, every struggle becomes a diagnosis, every hard moment becomes evidence that something needs to be fixed. And I get it. It comes from love. Every parent scrolling at midnight is just trying to do the right thing for their kid. But I've started to wonder, what are we unintentionally teaching them about their own inner experience? Are we giving them the framework, or a framework that helps them trust themselves? Or are we handing them a story that teaches them to be afraid of what they feel inside? I don't have a clean answer, but I have a question I keep coming back to, one that I think matters whether you have children or not, whether this is about your kids or about yourself. What if the assessment was made too early? What if nothing was wrong? What if you were just in the middle of your becoming? So imagine you're baking a cake. You followed the recipe perfectly, the batter was right, the ingredients were all there, everything was as it should be. But 5 minutes in, you open the oven, take it out, look at it, and what's wrong with this cake? Something must be wrong with this. It doesn't look like a cake yet. So you poke at it, worry over it, maybe call someone to come look at it too, and then you put it back in. 5 minutes later, you do it again, and then you do it again. So here's the thing about a cake. It cannot become what it's meant to be if you keep pulling it out of its process. Not because anything is wrong with the batter, but because becoming requires conditions. It requires time, it requires trust, it requires you to resist the urge to keep interrupting it with your assessments. This is exactly what we do to ourselves. Every time we obsess over a feeling, every time we ask, why am I like this? Or what's wrong with me? We are not just pulling the cake out of the oven, we are removing it from its heat source entirely. And the heat source, the thing that actually drives transformation, is not analysis. It's not diagnosis. It's not finally finding the right label. It's actually compassion. Resistance in the form of judgment or shame, guilt, fear, contempt is interference. It's a growth inhibitor. It is, by definition, the removal of warmth. And you cannot bake a cake without heat. Compassion is what keeps the conditions right. It's what allows your system to do what it already knew how to do: process, integrate, and move forward. Not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped interrupting it. So, here is the question I want to leave with you, the one I think matters most. Whether you have children or not, whether this is about your kids or about yourself. Does the framework you're living inside, increase your trust in yourself and your body, or does it teach you to be afraid of your own inner experience? Because many of us were handed a framework early by a parent, teacher, a diagnosis, a well-meaning someone who saw us struggling and told us what it meant we could decide for ourselves. And some of us have been living inside that story ever since. Checking on the cake over and over, wondering why isn't it done yet, never considering that the interruption itself might be the problem. So here's something practical to take with you this week. Next time you catch yourself in an old pattern, self-doubt, the spiral, the familiar voice that says something is wrong with me, don't fight it. Don't analyze it. Don't pull it out and poke at it. Just feel it without labeling it, without judging it. Let it move through you the way that it needs to. And then you can place your hand on your heart if it helps and say this and mean it. Even though I'm experiencing this right now, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. That's not weakness. That's the heat staying on. That's you trusting the process instead of interrupting it. You were not broken. You never were broken. You were just in the middle of your becoming. And that process, when you stop pulling yourself out of it, is already working. Hey, if you watched the end of the video, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you sharing it with other people that might want to hear that. And also, if you're interested in this type of healing work, please reach out. You can follow the links in the description, and there'll be ways to reach out to me directly, and love to hear from you. And if I can help, I'd love to do that. Thanks for watching.